Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we're going to make one of those cool screen divider cards. And I've wanted to make one for a really long time, but I don't have any punches that will do the bottom portion where the feet of the divider are. So I got to thinking I could do this with my Cricut and show you guys how to at the same time. I'm also going to share the file I create today with you. So I'll make it a public file and put a link in the description below. So if you want to make one using this basic design, feel free to do that. All right, let's go to File. Well, let me tell you where I'm at first. I'm at Cricut Design Space, and I have signed in with my account. Now, I do have the subscription, so the parts that I'm going to use today may or may not be subscription pieces. For the most part, I don't think they are, but if they are, you'll be able to use all the pieces that I have in the design, and if they're not, you may have to change a couple out. But let me go to File and New. Now, I've played around with this and made at least one already, so it's not too bad, but we had a few little steps we have to do. If you want to make your own, this will be a great way for you to go into your own design space and kind of start with my idea and create your own divider card. So let's get started. I'm using the new updated design space, and this one is the one that has the insert shapes feature added here and also the align button added here. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you how to use those at the same time. All right, let's go to insert shapes. I love this feature so much. I'm going to grab this square. Now, I don't need a square, I need a rectangle, but how do we start a square? With a rectangle. So, I have my square selected. I'm going to head over to Edit, and see how this has the lock here? Because of this lock, which is called key proportions, or lock proportions, if I leave it locked, whatever I do to one is going to happen to the other. I don't want that to happen because we're not making a square, we're going to make a rectangle. So I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to change this to size 11.5 and hit enter or return. And then for the height, I'm going to change it to 6 inches. I want this to fit in a 6 by 6 inch envelope, so this way I can do that. Now, if I lock this back, they are locked and they are not going to move around and they're not going to change on me. I like to do that. I noticed yesterday when playing with this card, I had done something when I clicked on here and it changed my dimensions enough to where when I went to cut it, it told me it couldn't cut on the page, and I was like, I know it can. And I came back in and this ended up saying 11.51 and this one said 6 point something. So locking it is not going to keep it from changing if you drag this accidentally during your creation, but at least for me, it lets me know that I have changed this already to this if I go and look at it. That's a long story to tell you a mistake that I made yesterday playing with it. Alright, so the other thing I want to do is I don't really care for this gray color because this is my card base. So I'm going to change it to white because I want that to feel like white paper for me so I can know what I'm working with. Now there's a couple of things we have to do that are not seamless. They're things we have to do a little work for. No big deal. I'll show you how I did it. I'm going to insert shapes again and add another square. Now this time I need this square to be a totally different size. So I'm going to go to Edit and I'm going to unlock this key proportions again. I'm going to make it about 1 inch tall because this doesn't matter to me. I just need it to be something I can use as a ruler. The top needs to be 2.875. Okay, so that's the size we want the top width to be. Alright, so when I click on this again, I'm going to now use this as my ruler to do my separations on this card to tell me where to put my score lines. So I'm going to take this piece and put it into this top corner, and this will tell me where to put the score line that I'm going to get from this insert shapes box. Here's my score line. And I'm going to go ahead and change the height of this score line to 6 inches. That way, it will be exactly the height I need it for my card. Now, the hardest part for me is grabbing this score line. I never seem to quite get it. I will eventually get it. There we go. See, I told you. All right, now I'm going to line this up to the edge of that box, which then will tell my Cricut exactly where I need to score it. And I moved it too much. Let me move it one more time, right to the edge. All right, and I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm going to grab the box and move it down. Like I said, this is my ruler. Now, if you're really, really good and you can use these little ruler measurements up here, feel free to do that. This just lets me know I'm getting everything lined up like I should. Now I need another score line. We're going to actually add this one and another score line to it. I'm going to bring this guy up here to the top and line it up and change it to 6 inches tall. And I think I want to move it up a tiny bit more. Move. Oh, I don't have it again. I told you that's my biggest problem, is actually getting a hold of it. There we go. Got it. All right, and now I'm going to grab this guy, move it one more time, and add one more score line. Just using that little rectangle as a ruler for us is all we're doing. I have the worst luck grabbing that little thing. All right, so I've got it in place here, and I'm going to tell it to change to 6 inches. So this way, when we go to score and cut, our score lines will be right where they need to be for our room divider card. If you've never seen a room divider card, it basically looks like an accordion, but it has pretty little feet and it stands up. Let's work on those pretty little feet now. So let's go to Insert Images. Here at the top in the search box, I'm going to put in the word label. I found that if you do label, you get some really cute designs. Now I want you to think as though this were a punch and we were going to punch this shape out of the bottom of this paper. And I love this shape right here. I've used this one and I really like it. I'm going to click that one and insert it into our project. Now I don't need these 2 layers. You notice that there's a cream layer and an orange layer. If you come over to the layers panel, you'll see that both of those have their eyes open so that we can see them. I don't want the orange layer, so I'm going to turn the eye off to kind of make it go away. Now I have found that when this image imports, it's the perfect size for what I need. I want it to be the feet area or the little foot area of my room divider. So I just line that up to the bottom of this last panel here between the score line and the end of the page, and we're going to slice this away. So here's how we do that. We select the shape, hold down Shift, and select the base, the card base. Now when we look up here, our slice option is available, so you click slice. Now what I want to do is take this bottom piece that I do not need anymore and delete it. I'm going to move it so you can see what's happened. See how it's sliced away? We don't need it. I hit my delete button and get rid of it. Now this one I am going to use again, but notice how we cut out this pretty little foot here. Isn't that cute? And don't panic. Our score lines are still there. They've just moved to the back, so we're going to move this card base to the back so that you can see them. They're still where we left them, so no worries about that. For this piece now, I want to duplicate it, so I'm going to copy it and paste it 2 times. This is a trick I learned from Melody Lane recently, where we can now slice multiple images at the same time just by doing a little trick in between. So I'm going to line these little punches up. That's what I'm going to call them, the little punches for the bottom. Get them just like I want them. And then I'll show you another trick. Now one thing that is very important is this. When you're putting these little feet in place, or these little punches, the lines at the bottom must meet. If they don't meet and you accidentally move it up too high, you're going to end up with a little strip of paper right there. Do you see that? And you don't want that. Alright, so let's bring that back down. Now, these guys are all in place where I want them. But before I punch them, I need to weld them together so that they become one image. Otherwise, I'd have to do this one and slice, this one and slice, this one and slice. We're going to save a step. We're going to select this little punch. We're going to select this one while we hold down the Shift button, and select this one while holding down the Shift button, which selects all 3 for us. Now we're going to head up here and click Weld. What that does is it turns these guys into one image. You see that? I'm going to click Undo and put them back so that I don't have to line them back up again. Now we're going to slice them. So we're going to select them, hold down Shift, and click that card base. And now we will click Slice, and check this out. They are done. So we didn't have to do that 4 times in a row, just once. Well, really just twice. All right, so I'm going to X this guy out. Now notice that our score lines have gone away again. They're still there. They're just behind this guy. So let's move it to the back. Now we need to attach those score lines to our card base, and I couldn't do it before. I'm not exactly sure why, and if you know why, you can let me know. But when I attach these before I try to slice, it sees this as a layer or as an image, and it doesn't work. So I'm going to attach them now. And I tried welding them together, and it didn't work either. Let's try that again together and see what we get. I'm going to select that one, hold down Shift, and select this one. See, it doesn't let me select them together, so that's why that didn't work. But let me show you what we're going to do here. We're going to select one, hold Shift, and click the card base. Come right over here and click Attach. Now when we do this, it attaches this one and it brings this image to the front again. So we just have to move it to the back. Seems a little confusing. It is probably the most time consuming of the whole card. Obviously it is, but you can get through it. So you click your little score line, hold down the Shift, click your base and attach. Click the base, move it to the back, grab that last score line, select the card base and attach. Now we're all together. Look, now we can play and dance. Check it out. So now we know when we cut this out, our feet will be in place, our score lines will be in place, and we will be ready to go. Now there's a couple more things I want to do that are super simple. I'm going to put in some mats for these panels, and here's how I do it. I just select another little square from that insert shapes option, and I come right up here to the top corner, and I decide how big I want these to be. Now if I were to start pulling at this point, because the lock is engaged, see how everything pulls at the same size? I don't want that to happen. I want to unlock it so I can then pull down on this image and stay inside that score line area. Now what I'm going to create here are two mats that will layer on top of each one of these. So this is mat number 1, and that's the size I want it. So now I'm going to copy it and paste it 3 times. By doing that, I create myself one for each one of these panels. I'm going to show you something else really cool, which is one of my favorite features that has ever been created in Design Space. Now these are pretty well lined up, I can tell by looking, but I want to show you something. I can click on this guy, hold down my shift button, and click each one of the other panels, and now I can use this cool align tab. Now I can align them centered vertically. I can align them at the bottom, I can align them at the left, the right, the top. Check this out, I'm going to click align top. And now I know they are aligned straight, whether I got them straight or not. Isn't that awesome? Now, it doesn't really matter because these pieces are going to cut out as separate pieces, and I'm going to put them on individually. But to show you how to use that cool function, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to actually paste one more of these because I don't have to copy it. I've already done that. So I'm pasting one more, and I want to change the color of this one because this is going to be the top mat that's going to go on top of, oh, I changed the wrong one. Let me change it back. Classic gray. Oh, it's not the same color. Let's do it this way. We're going to go undo and get it back. So let me click this guy again. There it is up here at the top. So I'm going to change the color because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to change it to this cactus pink, which is so pretty. Alright, now then, I'm going to come back on top of this dark gray mat, and I'm going to unlock the proportions and resize this piece. Now this will be a top layer there. So this card will be the base, the first mat, and then the top mat. Now I want to copy this one and paste it 3 times. And then I'll show you where they will go. They're going to go on top of each one of these guys. Now at this point, you could write on them. You could add images and flatten them so you can print them. You could put Happy Mother's Day. You could cut out other images to go with it. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to stop here because I want this file to be generic enough that when you get it, you can play with it and add whatever you want to. For example, if you wanted to add text, you could click on the Add Text button and then type, maybe you wanted to type, I don't know, Happy Mother's Day. So I go up here to the top to the all fonts, and I choose one that has a writing style, and that way it'll kind of eliminate any that won't be good writing styles for us. And let's say we pick Baby Steps. Looks cute. Oh, that's really cute. Okay, let's come up here, and I think I'm going to edit this and kind of do enter and enter, so it'll be kind of in a row. Let's center it by clicking this button, and then let's resize it so it'll fit inside of here. So maybe we want our card to say Happy Mother's Day on this panel. If you do and you want it to use a marker, super easy. You'll just select your text, hold down shift and click the panel behind it, just the pink panel, okay? Then you'll go to layers and you will attach it. Now by doing that, the Cricut now knows that I need to write this right here in this spot. Isn't that cute? You can also do this with images. You can bring an image in, select the image, the panel, attach them, and then it'll be a print and cut feature. Okay, so let me take this out of here because I want to leave it blank. I'm just going to do undo. I love an undo feature. And let's just get rid of it. Okay, so now we're ready to cut. So I'm going to click go and go to the Cricut. Now here's the easy thing. I'm just using 3 different pieces of paper. A white base here. I'm going to use a floral base for the gray, and then I'm going to use a white base for the white. And then we will put this card together. Okay, so I'm going to load this floral paper in because the first thing we're going to cut are the first layer of mats for the divider itself, and I want this floral to be in that background, so I'm going to click go. And it will ask me for what kind of material, and I'm going to put it to cardstock. I had it on vinyl, so I'm glad it asked me. That's something I like because it tells me to set the dial, so I appreciate that. And now I'm going to click the little flashing Cricut symbol and let it cut. Alright, so I'm going to unload this one, and then I'm going to reload my mat with white paper and cut the next portion. Okay, so I got my white paper in, and I'm loading it. And I'm going to tell it to go. So the white is cut. I'm going to take this off and then reload it with the piece that will be my card base. So I'm going to use this stripe paper to be my divider card itself. So this will be the card base we're going to cut now. So load it up and tell it to go. Oh, by the way, it's asking me for the scoring tool that goes right here. I don't have the scoring tool, so I'm not going to stress over it. I'm going to tell it to go, and it'll run through the scoring process. But that way, if you guys have the scoring tool, if you use this file, you'll be able to do that. The other thing is, I have the scoring tool on order. It should be here this week, so in the future, you'll be able to see me use that. But for now, we're just going to let it pretend. I'm going to let this finish cutting, and we will get together at the craft table and put it together. So these are all of the pieces we cut. These are my 4 white panels, which we'll do something with those in a second. These are my floral panels that are going to go behind the white. I love that print. And then this is my card base. Now here's the thing. Like I said, I don't have the scoring tool, so I have to do it by hand, but that is no big deal. I'm just going to come right here and kind of split the difference and score this so I can fold it. But when I get my scoring tool, I'll be excited because I won't have to do this anymore. I'll know that my score lines are in the perfect spot. I'm just using a ruler to do this with, an eyeball in the center. Okay, so let's do some folding. Fold you here. And you accordion fold this, so you fold it forward and then you fold it backwards. Like so. I got the first 2 folded and then the last one. Crease this real good. I did not fold this one very straight, so let me get it straighter. So if you have the scoring tool, you won't have that issue, but look how cute that is, like a little room divider, and it stands up. Isn't that cute? Now let's do the pieces to go inside of the panels here. So the first thing I'm going to do to the panels is a little bit of stamping. And I'm going to use some Close to My Heart ink, which is in cocoa. I think this would be a good color to go with the brown paper. And I'm going to use these Stampin' Up! Stamps I just got in my paper pumpkin kit, which is has Mom and Love You and Dad and a lot and all this. I think I'm going to use Love You Mom and then a lot. I think that'll be cute. So let's get out a block. I'm going to do them separately. Like I'm going to do Love and then You, and then instead of loading them on one block. I'll put Love here first. Now I'm going to emboss these through my Cuddle Bug with an embossing folder, but I want to stamp on them first. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start from the bottom up because I'll be able to line this up better. So I'm going to start with a lot first. Just like this. You know what would be cute? I'm just thinking on the fly. If I did this in a color, let me see if I can do it with a marker. This peach is a cute color, but I don't know if it'll show, so we'll do a little sample of it and see if it'll show. So I'm going to use this piece of scratch, and I'm going to use this peach colored marker on here and just see if it'll show up. It's not bad. I just got to get more color on there. Seems to be going on better at this time. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, that's cute. Alright, so I'm going to do that on the bottom portion. So, get a lot of ink on there this time. This is just a Crayola marker I'm doing this with. It's one of the Super Tips Crayola markers. Okay, I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. I'm going to let that sit for a second and kind of transfer over. That's cute, kind of rugged. And then I can always go back and add some color if I want. Any place it didn't do real good. Alright, so there's a lot. And now I'm going to do the other stamping. And let's see. The next word up will be mom. So I'm going to ink it in some cocoa. So put it to this side. Oh, that's cute. Right, and then the next word is going to be you. Doing this from the bottom up lets me know it's all going to fit and be in the right sort of position. Oh, that's not neat to get on the top. Glad I looked. Hope my head's not in the way. Love you. Oh, cute, cute. Okay, let's put love above it. Now you could always use a stamp positioner for this if you were nervous about it. And then I'm going to use another thing off of here, which is this little flower. There's a little flower stamp, and I think I'm going to use that same peach marker and just see what we can get out of it. Kind of thumping it on there. You've heard of thumping with markers? That's a technique, so I just kind of did that. Let's just see what it turns out looking like. It's not bad. It's not the greatest. Let's just put a few more. This whole painterly look is in right now, so I mean, if it looks kind of watercolory, that's alright. That's very in right now. Okay, let's put one down here. That'll be the best one. It is. Super cute. Okay, so what's next? Let's do some embossing. So I got the old cuddle bug out and my embossing plates. So I've got an A plate and a B plate there. And the folder I'm going to use is this one. Look how pretty this is. It's like a cathedral style window type thing. And I am going to, I think I'm not going to emboss the one I stamped because I just like the way it looked. But I'm going to come right here and just sort of center this in one of those panels like so. Let me see how I want it to do. I'm going to find a spot where I can line them all up pretty much the same. So kind of like that, so I can get that this panel on there. So I will put that with another B plate on top into the cuddle bug and run it through. And I'm using a really thick cardstock today, so it's going to look really pretty when it's embossed. Let me show you. Look how pretty that looks. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so I'm going to do that with the other two panels, and I'm not going to emboss this one. I like the way it looks, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we have our 3 embossed panels that have that little arch on them, which is really pretty. We have our floral panels, and then we have our card base. So let's go ahead and start putting everything together. The first thing I'm going to do is adhere these guys to the floral pieces, and I'm going to do that with some liquid glue. Everybody asked me about this glue. It is my favorite glue. It is called Art Glitter Glue. This tip is a separate purchase, so you do have to buy the tip separate. And this bottle is the refill bottle, and we have discovered something. You have to buy the small bottle first to get this black portion of the tip, but then you can just put it on your refill bottle after that. So I'll leave a link below to all of those products, so if you're interested in them, you can grab them. And anything else I'm using today that I can find a link for. I think that's so pretty on there with that floral in the background. So there's one panel assembled. Let's do another one. And I want to make sure I'm doing my embossing the same way. I did this with the, what is it? How did I do it? I don't know. With the deboss side? I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm putting the same sides up. This pattern is the same either way you turn it. It's just one side pokes up and one goes down. So, okay, now it is time to put them onto our divider panels. And my plan, let's see, I think I'm going to put this one, the word one, here, because I have it folded in such a way that it comes forward. And I like it folded that way. But I'm going to put it up on dimension. I think it'll be cute that way. So I'm using these Stampin' Up! Ones that I got in my paper pumpkin kit. I think I'm going to have to order these, guys. I really like them. I like the way they don't have any waste on the paper. I literally can use every bit of that dimension, and I love that. Which I do that with my other stuff too. I do that with, I cut all my other stuff up too, but this just doesn't leave you nearly as much of the funny shapes. Okay, let's center this dude up. Something like that. Well, I didn't get centered at all. Let's try it again. That's better. I like that. Let me see if I want to put the others on dimension. I think I do. See, when I put this into the envelope, I'm going to do it like this or either like this. So the card will actually, you know, show up in a way that she'll have to kind of open it up. I think I'll put it in there like this. So I think I'm going to put everything on dimension. That's really pretty. Do you see it? And it stands up like that. And now I want to find some embellishments to put around. Let's see what we can put on here. I love how these little pearls look. The green looks really good. It brings out the green and the flowers in the background. And then I have these little guys. They're from a Dollar Tree set that I got. These little butterflies, which are so pretty, and they're kind of dimensional too. So there's some of them here, and you think they wouldn't go, but look how these, when you pull them away from the pack, the colors work really well. So I'm going to add that one, and I've even got these little flowers that are kind of the peachy colors, and I'm just adding them around. There's a little pink. I'll put that down there. This little guy here. That's a perfect way to use these guys up. And here's another little set. I don't want to do too much, but can you really do too much? I want that little dragonfly out of there. Let's get him out. I want to put him up here like he's flying away. And then these little purple flowers are cute. What would they look like down here? I don't know. I don't love the purple. I think that changes things, so I'm going to take the purple back. But I do have another little peach flower. I feel like that's missing something there now. Maybe this little guy buzzing through. Cute, cute. Not bad at all. So when it stands up, it'll stand, you know, accordion like this. And I'll show you in pictures, so it'll stand up like that. And when you give this to someone, you can fold it in half and slide it into the envelope, so when they take it out, it'll have the sentiment, and you can write on it. You can write here, you can write on the back if you save yourself room, or put another panel back here. But how cute is it? I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll share the link to the file below and any of the supplies that I used, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.